Well, it is just glorious outside. So just taking a moment as you get yourselves set up, as you get yourselves settled down, to just be. I'm constantly looking at this awareness and this building a model of separation. It's not that we are separate, so no more than our muscles. We don't have a bicep and a tricep. We have muscles that can be sectioned. We can, as the person who's doing the dissection, they can choose to cut muscles in a certain way so that we can separate them in groups that is useful and helpful for us to both understand in our body how things work and to understand, to be able to teach and to learn. Because if we take the whole thing as one, it can be a bit overwhelming. And in exactly the same way as we can choose to differentiate muscles, even though all of my current training, all of these, we're now talking about a muscle, a single muscle in the body, because it all interacts and moves as one, that there is no such thing as only moving one muscle. But we do differentiate it for the use of learning about it and being able to understand it. The exact same way, we energetically, emotionally, mentally, we're all one, but I have this model that I use to differentiate it for the point of view of simplicity, and that we can kind of connect with different things. And so that's what I'm inviting you to do as you sit. So the whole of you is sitting and pausing. And I'm inviting you to notice, to differentiate, so to notice your physical body, that you have a physical body, and just to take a second to check in with that physical body. It's not possible for you to stand on a thumbtack and have pain in your physical body and not also have an emotional reaction and a thought. These things are all completely interlinked. But for the purpose of learning, of understanding, of hearing what's going on in our body, that's why I invite you to differentiate them. Just take a moment to kind of do that. So as you check in with your physical body, we think of that typically in terms of how you slept, or maybe something that you did yesterday that was stressful on your body, and checking in how it is. And then noticing that you have a physical body so that you can become separate from that. So if you imagine that you just stubbed your toe, there is no separation. You are fully in experience of having that stubbed toe. And there's no thinking involved. It's just, And now, afterwards, you can come to notice that you have a toe, and it was the toe that was stubbed. The fact that every cell in your body went, a second before that, is our integration. And then our awareness that you have a toe, and you are not your toe, and you have your toe. So similarly, come to that, checking in with your mind. Have you lost your mind yet? Do you still have a mind? How is that mind? And then let that go and come to connect with the emotional body. This is something that we find more difficult. We can be in reaction for longer. We can, become hooked to our emotions. So just see, or we can be nervous about checking in with our emotions because we may be nervous about what we find. So just notice, how are you right now emotionally? And know that that's not just one answer, that could be 6 answers. And the emotion may have changed before you've had the brain ability to come up with an actual word. So just be with that too. And then use your breath to integrate them all back together. So just taking a breath and fill the entire body, mind, soul, spirit, emotional body, the whole lot. Let's reintegrate. We differentiate purely to be able to get information and feedback, and fundamentally we are integrated. And so let's take this integrated body up and bring a little bit of movement into it and see how that affects us. Mind, body, spirit, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever way you want to language that, that kind of breakdown. And so have a little dance, have a little boogie. I don't play music because, well, the words are so beautiful, but also the quality of it through all of the different technologies that we're using may end up making it tinny or interfering. But if you have kind of dancing music that you want to be playing in the morning for this part, rock on. Or sing a song in your head, or even sing a song out loud. Into wrists, don't forget fingers, don't forget toes. The oh dear, I need to pee, move. And then, whatever way you come to it, however you come to it, come back then to stillness. And so from this place of stillness, what we're doing is we're moving our body now consciously through a number of different planes. Articulating, moving every joint. So releasing into shoulders, into neck, into your jaw. And so then as you come to tall, inhaling, you come to tall. Allow the shoulders roll back, knees straight but not locked. And enjoy that sensation of tall. From here, exhaling, coming to small, rounder, closing, coming home. And from home, we exhale, inhale rather, and we open up to go back out. And doing that another time, coming maybe a little bit smaller if you want. Depends, like, do you want to feel it in your muscles or do you want to feel it in your heart? Pick one of them to let you lead you. You don't need to do both every day. When you open up, notice how it is. Does it feel vulnerable as we get ready to go back in some shape or form? Coming down the next time. When you come down, let's stay down and have a little play. Just because we're grown-ups doesn't mean we can't play. Well, maybe we're not even grown-ups, but we can play anyway. So have a little wriggle, bending one knee, bending the other. And then when you're ready, coming through to flat back. From your feet, through your legs, through your hips, through your spine, shoulders, long neck. Pausing for a second, and then when you're ready, exhaling, coming down into your squat. From your squat, well, actually just pause in the squat for a second. Oh, I'm gonna have new bread today. Pausing in your squat, ignoring the cat, and then see how it is. How has your squat developed over these last few weeks? And then when you're ready, consciously placing your hands on the ground. Feel the ground beneath you. For me, it's a fluffy carpet because I feel like being hugged instead of by a yoga mat. And then stepping back with your right leg. And now exploring and playing. We're playing with a lunge. Opening, releasing, warming, whatever way you want to call it. Hips, knees, ankles. Next time you're on your back foot, push into the ground, yield your weight into the ground. Keep your connection on the front foot, and when you're ready, stepping. Whoa. You're in forward fold, from forward fold, through the legs, through the pelvis, stay connected, integrated. See if that's kind of coming for you, that flow like a wave through your body. Exhaling, coming back down. Let's keep on moving straight away. Inhaling, let's come to flat back. Oh, Laura, don't change it. Flat back. Exhaling back into our squat. Take a second or a breath in your squat today. And then when you're ready, stepping back with the left leg. And seeing how this is. Playing, easing. And again, whenever you're ready, yielding into the ground with the back foot, and from that, releasing yourself forward, coming to forward fold. From forward fold, bends the knees. Come on up, power through the legs. You notice that if you go slow, how much power it takes. Gathering in the air, the oxygen, the prana, life force, bringing it to your heart. Being. Don't know about you, but I can feel my heart rate has increased. When we're ready, we'll go again. This time we go the whole hog, and the whole hog today is cat instead of plank. So inhaling to length, exhaling to roll, inhaling to open. If you don't feel like opening so much today, don't. Come to your toes if you want to. Exhaling, coming back down. I'm going to try it on my toes. Whoa, try a little bit of wobble. Coming back down, through flat back. Make these movements yours, leave out anything you don't want to do. Inhaling back into squat, stepping with your right, meeting with your left. And straight away then, onto hands and knees. Knees to the ground. Allowing that movement now through your spine. I'm widening my arms because I want just a little bit more mobility in my shoulders. I find it easier to feel the movement when my shoulders are, or my hands are a little bit wider. Experiment with it. Move your hands really close together and do a cat-cow. See what that does. And then when you're next in neutral, from neutral, just continue that journey back towards your heels. Now you're in hare. Spread your hands so that you have, and spread your arms so you're ready for dog. And from dog, or from hare, into the hands, bends the knees, and bring yourself up to dog. Have a little play in dog. Let your neck be released in dog because it's kind of supported here. It's active, it's between the arms, it's not just hanging, but let gravity, that stone weight that you have over your head, your brain, even though you may not have any, you may well have still not much going on there. It's still nice and heavy, let it release. Bend your knees, take your butt back. And then when you're ready, look between your hands, stepping with your right. That was an aspiration, by the way, that there's not much going on in your head when you're doing your yoga. Reaching with your left, bending the knees. And we're back to where we started. Gathering in the energy from the world around us. Back to prayer. And then let's go again the other side. Inhaling, reaching, lengthening, exhaling, curling, inhaling, opening if that feels nice to you today. Exhaling, releasing down, coming through flat back. Exhaling back into squat, stepping with the left. I have no idea which is my left or right anymore. Meeting with the right. And straight away, knees onto the ground. Untuck your toes. And this time, if you want to make it a moving cat, have it as a moving cat. What does that mean? As you arch your back, maybe you want to come back towards your heels. As you release your belly, maybe you want to come forward. The starting of 8-point pose. Or maybe you want to go sideways. So right to left. Or maybe you want to get really advanced and go with front cat-cow, where you combine both. And so you're articulating all of the different fields, planes. There's my whole mats. You see, I was helping my son with his Well, I wasn't helping him, but we were discussing maths yesterday, so it's all planes we're in today. And then whenever you're ready, coming back to neutral. From neutral to hair, that means your butt to your heels, spreading your hands, tucking your toes, and allowing yourself float up to dog. Notice when you float up to dog, do you end up floating a little bit past into kind of a curvy thing going on? And you really get that lovely length under your arms, through your armpits. Can you take your butt back? And can you find stillness here today? Maybe stillness is not what is of interest to you. So if it's not of interest to you, find something that is of interest to you this morning. And just be. Sometimes holding these poses is much more challenging. Challenging mentally, emotionally, and physically. Sometimes movement can kind of get us out of that. So see what feels good for you today. What is available to you? What is of interest to you? And when you're ready, look between your hands, stepping with your left leg, and we're going to straight away rotate around. Rotate the left foot, the left heel to the ground, and come on up. We're going to go straight into triangle. Just what can be nice is kind of a bit like windscreen wipers for your feet. So start with, we're in a triangle pose, as in our legs are wide-legged. And now notice just moving your feet. Coming to whatever feels like a nice pose for you, for your front foot, back foot. Taking the hip out, noticing what's happening to your torso as you do that. Making choices. We talked a lot about the choices yesterday, so play with them. Make your choice for coming into your triangle today. What is it that you want? See when you're in whatever your default triangle is, if you have a default triangle, see what is going on with it. How is the top versus the bottom side body? How do you get a curve going on? Have you got a side bend? It's not good or bad, it's not right or wrong. Just be aware. I was doing this in the teacher training and it took ages for them to feel that. When you're ready, bend your knees. Come up and we'll try the other side. You may have a completely different strategy for getting it into triangle from this side, so see what it feels like. Side body, with or without a bend. Arms as a T, coming out of my arms, or rotating. See what it feels like. What's happening to that top shoulder? Releasing it back. And then bending the knee, coming up, heel toe, and pause. Notice. From here, I just realized we skipped the whole cobra thing completely, didn't we, in one of them? Let's get ourselves to our belly now. I apologize. From here, bending forward into your forward bend. From your forward bend, bend your knees so that you can take your feet, your hands on the ground. And from there, stepping or back so that you're into some version of plank and laying yourself on the ground. Taking your hands under your head and simply allowing then your body float up. Head, bringing your hands with you and coming back. And then doing it with the bottom legs, with the legs. So we're just playing with locust for a minute. Front body, back body, both bodies, top body, bottom body, sorry, not front and back, and then both. And then from here, rolling if you got the space onto your belly. When you're on your belly, coming to your twist. See what feels nice for you. Do you want to do a moving twist or do you want to pause and twist? Experimenting. And from your twist, they look so nice. Come to stillness. Remember to finishing asymmetric movements with symmetric movements. So maybe hug your knees into your chest, maybe play with arch and flatten. Maybe even the whole way into bridge, depending on what really feels nice for you. And then hugging your knees in, rolling onto your side and coming up to seated. Unless, of course, you want to take a restorative pose, in which case, make that conscious decision. It's Friday. Oh, I love the sight of blankets. That's my favorite thing. Oh, yes. It's Friday. Isn't it Friday? Yes, it is. It's Friday of a bank holiday weekend. So just let yourself settle. Do what feels good in your body. Make sure you have comfort. Comfort. Stillness then. Coming to stillness. Using the breath to bring you there. Using the breath to integrate us back. Now we have created movement through our entire body. Having the blood flowing, and with that comes oxygen, with that comes prana, comes life force. And settling. Feeling the breath into the belly. Abdominal breathing is one of the nicest, most healing things we can do. So feeling that breath coming in to your belly. Filling your belly. And then releasing, letting go. Our body was shocked, our lives were shocked into letting go of a lot of things a while ago. There may be things that won't come back. And so see how it is now to just be with each breath. Allow each breath to be a practice of receiving the gifts that you already have. Receiving the abundance that is here for each of us, receiving this new breath. And consciously letting go what no longer serves us. And the card that came up for us the last few days was about not being at the effect of black magic, of other people's thoughts, words, or opinions. And also not being at the effect of yours, your beliefs, not being at the effect of your own thoughts and opinions. And I just wanted to say that that's very different. It's not that you don't have a reaction, that there isn't an emotional reaction when something happens, that to, and if you have a reaction, then that's your playground. So if something happens or someone says something and your reaction brings you into fear or into anger or into guilt or into any of these emotions that we consider negative, not that they are, but that we consider that way. Rather than just allowing ourselves go into reaction and spilling whatever that is out on top of people around us, or in spilling it into ourselves either. Instead of both of those, we have an option to make this our playground, to welcome it with curiosity and see what really is underneath it. And that's where the true healing can be. The Toltecs call them wounds. The yogis call them samskaras. I'm calling it our playground. But the first step is awareness. And the second step is compassionate acceptance. And so as we start to enter Friday, the bank holiday weekend, or if you're watching this on the replay, the next moment, is there anything from today's practice that you'd like to bring with you? Are there any open questions? Or is there an intention you'd like to set for yourself? Maybe around awareness, compassion. And if nothing comes then to mind, then be with that too. And so we seal the practice. Taking a breath in, receiving. Exhaling, letting go whatever we no longer need. And then have a little wiggle, a little move, whatever way it is that works for you to transition. And we take our hands together. I'm inviting you to take them over your head today. Just why not? Receiving all of this from around us, from each other. Bringing our hands to our heart. And we bow and offer peace. Om Shanti.